Hey there, it's Brett. Over the last week, we've seen a tsunami of headlines casting doubt on the job security of remote workers. Some reports even say remote workers are being laid off at a 35% higher rate than in-office employees. Of course, the narrative around job security of remote workers hasn't felt safe for quite some time now. Even Elon Musk himself has come out to rail against it.
Laptop class is living in La La Land. It's messed up to assume that yes, they have to go to work, but you don't. It's not just a productivity thing, I think it's morally wrong.
But all those philosophical debates about the morality of remote work aside, with all the scary stories coming out, it makes you wonder, does this mark the end of flexible work as we know it? And should everyone, including myself, be prepared to pack up that sack lunch again, fill up my car with gas, commute into an office 5 days a week so that I can compete for FaceTime with the boss to secure my employment? And worst of all, have these remote layoffs only just begun? In this video, let's go beyond the headlines to understand what's really driving the latest rounds of layoffs and highlight the remote roles that appear to be most at risk right now, so you can be prepared. If you find this video helpful, please hit the like and subscribe button. Helps get this information out to more people. I'm a small channel and I really appreciate the help. Now let's take a closer look at this. Every one of these stories was written within days of each other. You can see there's Business Insider, the New York Post, Mint.com, among others have all covered this topic. When you click into any article, you find a common theme weaving them all together, the claim that remote workers are facing a 35% higher risk of getting the axe. Read even further, and you find each article references the same Wall Street Journal piece based on a study of 2 million white-collar workers conducted by Live Data Technologies. That's sadly behind a paywall, so I can't show it to you. Fortunately, in this article, the author Mackenzie Bean adds important context that others don't mention. The data provider found 10% of remote workers were laid off in 2023, compared to 7% of hybrid or in-office employees. So that's interesting. So the reality is remote workers aren't the only ones getting laid off here. Here's another way to look at this study. Let's imagine you work at a 200 employee small business called Aquapet that manufactures, sells, and distributes swimming caps specifically designed for cute cats and cuddly dogs. 100 of these employees are working remotely from the comfort of their home. Out of those 100, 10 of them get laid off.
Good luck in the employment line, Tom.
Then there's a second group of 100 employees mandated to work in the office 5 days a week. In this group, 7 people will lose their job and no longer be able to change the world by completing administrative work for a pet-focused swim brand. So yeah, while a 35% higher layoff rate is higher, I think the headlines make this remote layoff trend appear more extreme than it really is. The fact is, it's not just remote workers being laid off right now. These layoffs are hitting in-office cubicle dwellers pretty hard too. Of course, there are all sorts of reasons credited for these remote layoffs, like managers having a stronger emotional attachment to their in-office subordinates, doubts about remote work productivity, and of course, the sad fact is, it's just easier to lay someone off on a Zoom call than it is to do it face-to-face.
After careful and extensive review of all options, the company has made the very difficult decision to eliminate some positions across the home improvement business. Unfortunately, your position has been among those selected for elimination.
Here's the other thing. Where I've worked, my direct manager has never had the ability to determine whether or not you remain employed. Sometimes they can put in a good word for you and have some influence in the decision, but not always, especially not in the larger companies. Staffing decisions are typically made by people at much higher level than you. They don't know you personally, and they probably don't even know what work you really do. More often than not, management will be eliminating headcount based on a specific role type or cost cutting in certain areas of a business. Prior to the Great Recession, companies laid off lots of people in marketing departments to preserve cash and get through a slower economic time period. So what roles are at the highest risk of being cut right now? According to Business News Daily, the majority of laid off workers are either highly compensated roles or entry-level recruits. So I guess that would be pretty much everyone, with the exception of those in middle income or non-entry level roles. Also workers in the IT industry. You are also at risk. But let's talk about this. Are employers targeting remote workers where you work right now? What are you seeing on the ground? I want to hear about your experience, what it's been like. Since I'm a small channel, I can actually respond to legit comments, so let me know. Now take another look at this. Here's a small sample of announced layoffs this year. These include UPS, American Airlines, and Levi Strauss. The justification for these layoffs seem more like your run-of-the-mill financial news due to bad performance, not because their remote workforce is bad.
UPS planning to slash 12,000 jobs this year as the company looks to cut costs after what they described as a, quote, difficult and disappointing 2023.
American Airlines Group plans to lay off 656 workers who assist customers with misplaced baggage and other travel-related issues. The responsibilities of the staff are planned to be merged into other teams.
Levi is going to let go of up to 15% of its workforce. The latest numbers show the San Francisco company employs about 19,000 people around the world.
From my perspective, whether you're a remote employee or an on-site employee, the takeaway is the same. You always need to be prepared as much as you can anyways for an unexpected loss of employment. There's literally no job I can think of that's gonna last forever. Whether it ends 3 months from now or 3 years from now, there's gonna be some type of an end. The era of a company taking care of you long-term came and went decades ago. Give up. I don't think this is something you need to be obsessed over or lose sleep over, but at the same time, you should be paying attention and be ready if you need to take action and make a move. You just never know when life is gonna throw a curveball your way. I think if you're watching this right now, you understand the reality of the modern workplace. So what can you do to become more prepared? A simple one, I think make sure your resume is up to date. This will allow you to apply for a new job right away if you need to. Have an emergency savings account, doesn't hurt either. Savings is gonna buy you a little bit more time in the event of a job loss.
Man, I sound a lot like Dave Ramsey here. Yikes.
Don't be stupid, that's your choice.
And if you're looking for a side business, check out my database, 102 business ideas in the resource box below this video. Access to the database is free and gives you side hustle ideas with revenue numbers and startup costs for each business. This database includes revenue from profitable, solo-founded business opportunities you might not know about, like parking lot cleaning, towing, junk removal, auto detailing, online businesses, and more. If you want to start a new business idea this year, sign up for the database below this video. This is the approach I've taken in my life, and I think the sooner you start, the better off your future self is going to be. As you've probably heard, you can't save your way to becoming wealthy, and in today's economy, with the rising cost of living, the more layoffs there are, I think starting some type of a side business or a little consulting business is your best way to protect your way of life and improve your way of life, at least financially anyways. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.